Good evening. Former ICAC Commissioner Timothy Tong was again grilled by lawmakers today over lavish hospitality spending when he headed the anti-graft body. Despite inconsistencies in previous statements, Tong insisted he has always told the truth. The LegCo Public Accounts Committee now plans to submit a report on its investigation at the end of next month. Rani Samtani has more.
The former ICAC chief appeared at the LegCo committee for the 5th time to explain the anti-corruption body's lavish spending while he was in office.
During my time, there are areas in which I made mistakes in the administrative areas concerning entertainment, duty visits, gifts. But I am a man of integrity.
During the meeting, members accused Tong of violating internal regulations and derelicting his duties. Lawmakers questioned the reasoning behind spending on fish balls and beef briskets as gifts. Tong replied it was a form of reciprocation.
They gave us fruit and lychees. They were local products. So, therefore, in order to give them a gift, we also give them some local gifts.
You said that the beef briskets and fish balls were given in exchange for the lychees received. But let's not forget that reciprocation of gifts is exactly the reason corruption occurs.
Lawmakers became frustrated with Tong as his answers at times appeared inconsistent. When asked about the purpose of certain trips, Tong admitted that a visit to Yunnan in 2009 had more to do with pleasure than business. And in 2008, when visiting Beijing and Guangxi, then Chief Executive Donald Tsang asked him to shorten his trip because of work at the ICAC here at home. Tong cut short his visit by 1 day, and that was criticized by lawmakers. In the end, Tong admitted that he had made a lot of mistakes, but refused to take responsibility regarding overspending on liquor. Lawmakers refused to comment on whether they believe Tong had lied at the hearings, but based on his answers, they will formulate a view in the Public Accounts Committee's final report. The committee plans to submit its report to the full council by the end of November at the latest. Rani Samtani, TVB News.
Government consultation paper on Hong Kong's population policy will be released next week. Sources say there are proposals to give mainland university graduates more time to look for a job here. Evelina Leung has the story.
Mr. Jiang moved to Hong Kong from Hebei province 2 years ago. He received a master's degree from the Polytechnic University's Building Service Engineering program last year and is currently working as an engineer in a local company. Jiang says his colleagues are very nice to him, but it seems like he just can't fit in. They seem to accept me, but deep down this is not true because of our cultural differences and because of the problems between locals and mainlanders, he said. Jiang said he tries his best to mind his own business and not to create trouble for his co-workers. From 2001 to 2010, the number of mainland students studying in Hong Kong jumped by more than 10 times. And starting from 2008, non-local students have been allowed to stay in Hong Kong for a year after graduation to look for work. Initially, about 1,000 students took up the offer each year, and that number increased to 4,000 a year within 4 years. In 2011, close to half of all the mainland university graduates in Hong Kong managed to find a job within a year. According to the government, there will be a shortage of university graduates in Hong Kong after 2018. This is one of the issues the Steering Committee on Population Policy is expected to address in its consultation paper to be unveiled next week. According to sources, the committee will suggest extending the time allowed for mainland graduates to look for work from 1 year to 2 years. Is this a good idea? Professor Choi Yat-hong of Polytechnic University said giving mainland graduates one more year in Hong Kong will allow them to adapt better to the environment. However, he worries this will increase competition in the labor market, which will put local employees at a disadvantage. There are currently more than 7 million people living in Hong Kong. And according to the government, the population is expected to further increase by 1.4 million over the next 30 years, with immigrants making up a large percentage of that group.
The World Health Organization's Cancer Agency has declared air pollution causes lung cancer. The International Agency for Research on Cancer said the air we breathe is laced with cancer-causing substances. Data showed 223,000 deaths from lung cancer worldwide in 2010 resulted from air pollution. The agency said there was also convincing evidence pollution increases the risk of bladder cancer. Saudi Arabia and 4 other countries have been elected to seats on the United Nations Security Council, but within hours, the Saudis rejected the seat, saying the body is incapable of resolving world conflicts. Seats on the Security Council are usually coveted because they give countries stronger voices in matters concerning international peace and security. The 5 permanent members, China, the United States, Russia, Britain, and France, are joined by 10 countries that serve 2-year terms. In a statement today, Saudi Arabia said the Security Council has been unable to resolve the Mideast conflict for decades. It also cited the failure of the body to stop the Syrian regime of President Bashar al-Assad from killing its own people while facing no deterrence or punishment. The other 4 countries elected are Chad, Nigeria, Chile, and Lithuania. Back, former champion horse trainer Brian Kahn has had his jail term increased after he served a 14-week sentence for election bribery. Kahn was earlier found guilty of bribing a village representative to vote for him in the 2011 Shengshui Rural Committee election. The Department of Justice said election bribery is the most serious of all corruption offenses, and the usual sentence should be between 18 and 20 months. The Court of Appeal today extended Kahn's sentence to 12 months. Because he already served 14 weeks, he'll now have to spend the next 8.5 months behind bars.
Nix Media's free daily newspaper Sharp Daily will suspend operations from Monday. Nix Media says the move is part of efforts to consolidate its print operations and maximize profits in the interest of the company and its shareholders. The company is led by tycoon Jimmy Lai. Other prominent Nix Media publications in Hong Kong include the Apple Daily and Next Magazine.
Executive Council convener Lam Wun Kwong said he empathized with those who feel let down by the government's decision not to grant Hong Kong Television Network a free TV license. Of the 320 employees who lost their jobs there, more than 30 worked in the news departments. The head of Hong Kong Television Network, Ricky Wong, refused to comment today on arrangements for those who were sacked. Anchors, reporters, and directors are among those laid off in the news department. Meanwhile, the EXCO convener said he understands the public's disappointment over the company's failure to get a license, but Lam maintained he could not say more about the decision because of confidentiality rules.
Activists from the underground Citizens Radio have been found guilty of 9 out of 41 charges against them. They've been fined a total of $7,200, but they still insist they did nothing wrong. Defendants Chang Kin-sheng, Law Ham Chow, Ko Ah-ping and Poon Tak-keung were all present at the Eastern Magistracy this morning to hear the verdict. Along with Ocean Technology Limited, they faced 41 counts of conspiracy to establish and establishing a means of telecommunications without a license, as well as delivering messages for transmission by unlicensed means of telecommunications. The case surrounds live broadcast events by the underground Citizens Radio held in public areas in Causeway Bay and Mong Kok between April 2007 and November 2011. Chang Kin-sheng refused to make a plea, saying that he had done no wrong other than violated an outdated law. He told the court he would rather go to jail than pay any fines. In handing down the sentence, Magistrate Ho Wai-ying said she'd taken into consideration that none of the defendants had made a financial gain from their activities. She also pointed out that their broadcasts had not interfered with other radio signals. Ho cleared Poon Tak Keung of all charges, but found the other 4 defendants guilty of illegal broadcasting, giving them fines of up to $1,600. Chen Kin-sheng was found guilty of 4 other charges as well and fined $4,000 in total. The court told the defendants they have 1 month to pay the fines or face jail time. Zhang applied for $10 of court fees, which was granted to him. He later told the media he was making a stand for freedom of speech. Next, a court case involving the resumption of land for redevelopment. The Urban Renewal Authority is accusing a number of flat and business owners in Kwun Tong of refusing to move out. But as Stephanie Choi reports, the defendants aren't giving in without a fight.
The case has pitted the Urban Renewal Authority against a flat owner on Tong Yan Street and 2 business owners on Fu Yan Street and at Yanoi Court. The URA is accusing the defendants of occupying government land because the shops and home are located in areas earmarked for redevelopment. Convener of a concern group for those affected by redevelopment, Julian Feng, says the authority has offered compensation that's less than what they were promised. For example, while the stated compensation is equivalent to a 7-year-old flat in the same district, Mr. Feng says the URA usually ends up paying a sum that's worth an older 30 to 40-year-old flat. Residents and shop owners say right now they're being bullied by the Urban Renewal Authority, and so they're calling for the authority to make reasonable compensations and relocation arrangements to safeguard their interests. The defendants welcomed the decision by Registrar Simon Lui today to adjourn the hearing at the district court. Lui believes it would be more fair to allow more time for the prosecution and defense to prepare their arguments. The hearing has been adjourned until November 29th. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
The rooftop garden of the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal, one of the biggest such public gardens in Hong Kong, has officially opened its doors to the public. João da Silva went there today to have a look.
It offers a breathtaking 360-degree view of Victoria Harbour, and at 23,000 square meters, it is one of the city's largest. Kai Tak's rooftop garden is now officially open, and those who went to check it out this morning were not disappointed.
It's gorgeous, yes.
What does your son think of it?
I think he likes it. He runs around and he's having a good time.
The garden's facilities are not yet fully operational. Some vending machines and water fountains were not working today, and a shop is still under renovation. But for photography enthusiasts and visitors in general, the scenery makes up for it. This rooftop garden's panoramic view is certainly one of the city's most beautiful. But the best thing about it, well, the best thing about it is that you can sit on the grass and take it in. But getting to the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal is a challenge that has generated complaints from the public. Besides driving or taking a taxi, you can take a minibus which runs between the Kowloon Bay MTR station and the cruise terminal every day. KMB is also operating a route between Kwun Tong and the terminal on Sundays and public holidays. And this weekend, both services will be running for longer hours. This minibus driver says the number of passengers heading to the terminal has been relatively low, a situation he expects will change in 1 to 2 years as Kai Tak's shopping area comes into operation. João da Silva, TVB News.
And finally for tonight, the capital of the Czech Republic looked more like a giant outdoor rave party last night. It's called the Signal Festival. Organizers say it's aimed at giving Prague, which is usually regarded as classical and, well, old, a different ambience. More than 30 artists plugged in their light creations for the event. Some of the installations use high-tech tricks to make objects appear to come to life. The showcases are also a way to give the people of Prague a glimpse of new art forms which they may not have had a chance to see before. The Festival of Light runs through to Sunday at different locations across the city. And that's the news for tonight.
Good night.